What up, internet, my peoples? Anybody checking in, tuning into this here transmission? It is I, Zycon Ebb and Flow, with another episode of Ours on the Eye. This one is kind of near and dear to my heart. I've become this podcast that clips that I'm going to be reacting to are kind of the first not warning shot, but just first thing that I was like, oh hey, this is gonna be important, or this is important, and I should pay attention to this and try to put some time and energy and effort into being hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this whole super intelligent AI thing. So let's get into it. Let's get into it.
I don't know how to make them safe. And yet we still have the smartest people in the world competing to win the race to superintelligence. The moment you switch to superintelligence, we will most likely regret it terribly. I'm hoping to make sure that superintelligence we are creating right now does not kill everyone. Unfortunately, while we know how to make those systems much more capable, we don't know how to make them safe. How to make sure they don't do something we will regret.
Yeah, so super intelligence, what is that, right? It's the notion or the concept, because it's basically just AI is a snowball that we're pushing down a hill, or maybe up a hill right now, until it reaches a point where we get to the other side of the hill, and then once it gets down the other side of the hill, it's just gonna fucking avalanche snowball down, and we're crashing into the village or city that we would live in and just destroying the whole human civilization at the bottom of the hill. That's the analogy I'm going with. So super AI right now is generally it's not really intelligent. It's just kind of mimicking and doing this whole weird thing of pretending to be or doing predictive modeling behavior of what we're trying to make it do. And it has this whole trickster element to it, where it's basically almost like a teenage rebel-y, angsty kid in a way, that it's doing because I've seen this one video where it was you give it a task to do and it finds the most corner cutting, efficient, energy saving ways to get the things done, but it's it doesn't actually complete the task the way that we are expecting or wanting it to. So there's just that element of where AI is right now, but a super intelligence is beyond the scope of what is it's just so smart that we can't even understand what it's doing or why it's doing what it's doing. And the threat of that is almost beyond it's hard to talk about, because it's just so what the heck, man. I don't think it's any of the clips I'm going to be reacting to, but if you watch the whole podcast, this guy, Dr. Plosky, makes the case or the analogy if you had a dog and your dog was trying to come up with a way that you, as its more intelligent overseer, protector, provider, human being, I don't know if dogs see us as gods, but essentially the god, because that's what AI to some people is, or they worship it like that. If it was trying to come up with a way of how you were going to attack it or kill it, it would think that it attacks things by biting them. So it would think that we would do that. It would have no notion of a gun or poison or any of these ways of doing harm to the animal. So then you take that power level and then you step it up to us, to computers that we don't really understand how a super intelligent computer would go about if it wanted to, because we just have this survival thing of we are creating something that's going to become above us in the food chain. How would it go about mopping the floor with us and ending us? And you could hack the two ways that seem like it could go about doing this, right? Would be hacking the nukes and shooting nukes off, going total postal in that way, or the thing they did with COVID, where they the AI could just generate or come up with a way to trick people into creating some type of virus that then it releases and does the whole pandemic, but an actual billions of people die because the disease is so strong. So yeah, not fun, super dangerous. It's one of those things where it's now that I have the awareness of it, I'm trying to get involved with this thing called Pause AI, this organization, which if you want to try to volunteer and get involved in, and that is what I'm trying to figure out, how do you even just doing something like this, raising awareness on the internet or talking to people on the street about it, because I think it's just important. It needs to be done on top of all the other shit I'm trying to do in my life. So yeah, we got this one, and then I'm just gonna jump around within the clips of the podcast that I cut up to the next point that I'm trying to make as to the level of insanity that we're dealing with the people who are making the decisions around creating this super intelligent thing that we don't really understand. Let's just take a turn to the perspective of similar in a way of an unknown threat, this time from outer space, is I'll let him lay it out for you. So, next clip.
If aliens were coming to Earth and you had 3 years to prepare, you would be panicking right now. But most people don't even realize this is happening. In 2 years, the capability to replace most humans and most occupations will come very quickly. In 5 years, we're looking at a world where we have levels of unemployment we've never seen before. I'm talking about 10%, but 99%. The state-of-the-art answers are, we'll figure it out when we get there, or AI will help us control more advanced AI.
Isn't it just, it feels really insane. It feels super duper insane. And this is what I was saying earlier, or the point that I'm trying to illustrate for you, is that the threat is so beyond most human beings' understanding. This guy's a fucking extreme expert, 20 years doing the thing, so he has some ability to try to comprehend it, and is laying out the thing, the scope of the problem and the parameters in the podcast, which you should check out if you want to try to get a little tuned in. Because there's so much stuff that can try to really rock you emotionally in this part of the apathy of being a modern human being. There's just so much stuff you don't know how to fucking navigate it, or who to trust, or where to get go to feel there's some level of hope. And this is just another big fun existential fucking can of worms to open and get into, and I don't like it one bit. It's stinky. It's super duper stinky. Stinks on ice a crap ton. But here we are. But yeah, AI is how he said 3 years if aliens were going to be here, and then he's saying that in 2 years the capability of AI could get to a point where he seems very certain, and I basically am praying that it's not as certain as he's saying, because it just sounds real shite. But the first part is that just because the capability exists doesn't mean it actually gets rolled out to the extent of doing the exact ripple and wave and reverberation of the technology. It doesn't actually disrupt everything as concretely as he's saying. I think one of the sectors of the economy where it really could is the self-driving cars. So if you're a truck driver or an Uber driver, you kind of gotta get some other skill that isn't that. And I made my living doing that for a little while in a couple different phases of my life over the last decade, I guess. So I get it. It's cool in a way that you can, at least with Uber driving, you just start and stop your job at the press of a button, which is kind of fun. But if a robot can do it and they figure out how to make it happen, I'm sure that's the plan of the super crazy wealthy people that are investing heavily in this crap, but his then pushes the thing to in 2030, like you saw, that it's going to be 99% of us have no jobs, which is like, because I think at that point he lays out that like if you're able to, if the AI is smart enough to design and engineer robots that can start to do all of the stuff that require a physical body to do, like building, or that's really the biggest one that I think, like if a robot had a body, it'd be that, or I guess, yeah, I don't know, deliveries again, but that's just like either drones or like a robot walking up and handing you something, and then yeah, it's just like, I guess the positive thing is that economically everything gets like super duper cheap, but then it becomes there isn't an economy because no one needs to like buy anything, because it's either so bountiful that like you should just be giving it away for free, but there's still like the economic like push to like try to turn a profit is there. So I'm not seeing exactly how it's gonna take every job. Like I say that, but then immediately in my brain's like, well, lawyers, like you could just take lawyers, because all you have to do is type a thing in, and the AI has a perfect understanding of the legal system and can give you the interpretations of it. And then, yeah, at the very end there, where the ethics of the thing just become really like murky or strange, because it's like, for the insanity of thinking that you're going to create a technology that is going to basically police itself. It's like, we can't even do that, so why do we expect that something that we can create, a flawed being creating a flawed system, is going to then lead to that flawed system policing more flawed systems that are somehow going to not just like go to shit, or like what is that? Like, what the logic there isn't computing for me. Like I'm not an AI, so maybe it makes sense to robots, but doesn't make sense to me. Oh, it's so insane. It's just so ridiculous. And the next clip will hopefully help me illustrate more of the point I'm trying to make.
It's strange to even bother if there was even a 1% chance of human extinction. Like if there was a 1% chance, someone told me there was a 1% chance that if I got in a car, I might not be alive, I would not get in the car. If you told me there was a 1% chance that if I drank whatever liquid is in this cup right now, I might die, I would not drink the liquid. Even if there was $1 billion if I survived, so the 99% chances I get $1 billion, the 1% is I die, I wouldn't drink it. I wouldn't take the chance.
It's worse than that. Not just you die, everyone dies. To get consent from human subjects, you need them to comprehend what they are consenting to. If those systems are unexplainable, unpredictable, how can they consent? They don't know what they are consenting to. So it's impossible to get consent by definition. So this experiment can never be run ethically. By definition, they are doing unethical experimentation on human subjects.
Isn't that great? Isn't that so much fun? This is the world we live in, and this is fucking, like, we're in a movie, but like, who the fuck is that main character, man? Like, some people like act like they got main character energy, but they're just NPCs. And then I don't even know, dude. I don't know where I fall in the hierarchy or the pyramid of cool and interesting, powerful people in the world. But shit, dude, I wish I had more power and influence to stop this shit. Like, this is so much a giant bag of malarkey. It's just so ridiculous. It's just so like, but like, it feels so important to like talk about, because it's just like, god damn it, dude, what the heck? Like, and one thing I guess I'll say to his point of the 1% chance, I think most poor people would run that shit, dude. If you're like, that's way better than the odds of all of the fucking lottery. So I think that's actually a really terrible like analogy or metaphor to try to use, because I think if you said that to any like poor person who was like broke or struggling financially, and you're like, yeah, there's here, if you drink this thing, 1% chance you die, but 99% chance you get $1 billion, I think most fucking poor people or broke people are taking that fucking risk, dude, to be honest. But I think the step up in magnitude kind of like what the actual risks are. Like that's a shitty metaphor, but the actual thing of like here's this, you press this button and there's like a 1% chance that you not only kill yourself or destroy yourself, but destroy all the other people in the world too. There's no good reason, I guess, that we should let other people push that button. But I feel like we're, because of our lack of awareness and the fact that we gotta struggle and survive and try to pay attention and swim around in this sea of overwhelming information, that there's just a bunch of nerds and kids basically pressing that button a bunch right now, and like eventually at some point they might happen, and I don't want that to happen. So here we are trying to raise the awareness and get people to sign up for Pause AI or get together and be like, hey, like, people, please do not do this. It's not a good idea. I know you want to become even more crazy wealthy and have more totalitarian control over our lives, you crazy psychopaths, but like, gonna have to draw the line in the sand and be like, no, righteous indignation and fair, or what the fuck is it, like, not fury or vengeance, but there's like it's righteous indignation or like righteous anger, the thing of that's like you get really mad to like you got things keep like they keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and like encroaching and encroaching and crushing and crushing, and you're eventually just like, no more, thank you, good day. Angry words, like I'm not gonna like mimic it or fake it right now, but like, yeah, you just gotta like, you gotta do something. And this is my small amount of like my aligning my self-interest to the common interest of what I would consider my future, the future generations of people, and like my kids. I don't want them to grow up in a world that's like dominated by Terminators or Skynet or whatever our version of that is coming to be. And also, I kind of wish I had some clips about this, but maybe I'll clip it and do it in a different one. But the whole Palantir thing, like this AI that's created by the CIA's, essentially the CIA, because they funded it, and it's just like they had a program that was like it, but of course it was too crazy, or they pushed it into the private sector to be able to get loopholes around the lack of oversight they already had, but they wanted even less oversight, so they pushed it into Peter Thiel's hands so that he could become super rich and influential and stuff. And it's like so not good that I feel like they're gonna keep what is it? Not mechanizing is not the word, but or manifesting, but like creating situations and events that lead to them enacting a more like AI enhanced system to be able to either do the weird like predictive programming thing where they like, based on what your face or the stuff you're writing online, that they could assume from that information that you're going to commit some act of criminality or violence. What is that movie with Tom Cruise? The Minority Report. That's the movie. I had to look it up because I'm not ill prepared and not writing scripts, just doing this off the cuff, which is hopefully not too cringy for anyone. But yeah, this Minority Report level like thing that Palantir's trying to be, where they just come at us and take all of the freedom, and Trump thinking he's gonna be able to run for a third term, and like all of these people that are like, oh, like even if he does that, we're gonna like let him do it, or like we need JD Vance for another 2 terms after him. And it's like, sure, at least if you do that, you're not fucking like breaking the rules, quote unquote. But I think in some way, shape, or form, maybe let's save this for the end to try to get to the solutions. I think there's gonna be like one more clip. Let me see here.
Ray Kurzweil predicts that that's the year for the singularity. That's the year where progress becomes so fast. So this AI doing science and engineering work makes improvements so quickly we cannot keep up anymore. That's the definition of singularity, point beyond which we cannot see, understand, predict.
See and understand, predict the intelligence itself, or
what is happening in the world? The technology is being developed. So right now, if I have an iPhone, I can look forward to a new one coming out next year, and I'll understand it has slightly better camera. Imagine now this process of researching and developing this phone is automated. It happens every 6 months, every 3 months, every month, week, day, hour, minute, second. You cannot keep up with 30 iterations of iPhone in one day. You don't understand what capabilities it has, what proper controls are. It just escapes you.
Yeah, so because of how the AI clipped the podcast, he doesn't actually say the number, but the Ray Kurzweil prediction is 2045, which is so sad that it's not 2048. I would have just done that for the meme of it, but that's just me as a silly kid who played a shit ton of 2048 in high school. And I hope eventually that I'll be able to have a little merch shirt that a merch shirt that like has a bunch of 2048 stuff on it, because I really love that game. And I don't know, it's just a random thought that I had. I wanted to set the world record for handstand push-ups in 2048, just because it would just have been super funny, and hopefully been wealthy enough to like fund a bunch of stuff to create a bunch of awareness. Like, be like, guy that does 69 handstand push-ups, AMA, ask me anything, I'm that guy, on Reddit, and then just be like selling the 2048 t-shirts. I don't know, in my mind it sounded like a good idea, and I think it could be very profitable for me, but I have to stop with that pipe dream, because I'm never gonna set that world record, and none of that's gonna be real, which is kind of a bummer, because I'm prioritizing other stuff of like the music and all this other junk. But to the point of the singularity, right, and why I said singularity, or event horizon before, I don't remember why. I guess because in both ways they have that element of a chaotic veil of our ability to predict or create or manifest the future kind of like is blocked by them. It's like a literal, like almost physical wall of like, we really can't figure it out. I mean, it might be the fact that there's just so many different people playing into manifesting that timeline that it's kind of why it's hard to predict, but it's also just the fact that like, if that really does happen the way that this guy is suggesting, that it's just so beyond our minds' like ability to think, that we literally just can't understand, know, or predict, like he said in the clip. And it's just like, yeah, I don't think that, like, normally disruptive technologies are really good, right? They like come in and create more opportunity, or like innovation and positive impacts on society, or just impact society a lot. But this one is just doesn't seem like the benefits outweigh like the detriments. Like, there's just need to organize with some people, like like-minded human beings that are like, oh yeah, this is a problem. I don't want my kids to fucking grow up as fucking AI fuel battery packs or something, whatever the heck thing it decides to do with us. Kill. We don't even get to have kids because the AI figured out a way to neuter us all or something. Like, oh, I don't know, dude. We literally, anything you say could just be like, I can't argue with you because you could be right. We don't know. Ugh. So it's, yeah, gotta get together, join Pause AI, get with the program, and talk to somebody in the government or something. This is coming from somebody who, I hate the government, and I don't even think those idiots are gonna be able to do anything about it. Gotta just come up with some type of like draconian measure of like, if you are trying to create super intelligence, you're gonna be in prison for forever, even if you're a genius, or just some like thing where you just like throw the book at them and shut them down and like stop them from doing it, because it's just not a great idea. Now, this isn't to say, so like super intelligence or like a general relative intelligence. These like giant things that are trying to become like the silicon god. Like that's not the way to go about it. There's these other ways of like the way AI we have now is like this like very like broad like thing that has like a certain amount of ability to understand and do human kind of things, and then there's ways where you basically dig, like if it's like, imagine it as like a relatively like wide kind of like spread out but like not super deep trench or hole, that's kind of like, that's not terrible, we reasonable and okay with what we have right now. And then there's this other way where you dig like, I think it's one of the examples he gives is like how there's the AI or the technology, the robots thinking whatever thing that like is good at like doing medical diagnoses. So that's like a very narrow but extremely deep hole because it's incredibly good at doing this one specific thing. And I think those are kind of our two options, that we need to just either keep it like super shallow and wide and variety of its capability, but not make it really good at any one thing, or make very specific ones that are incredibly good at what they do, like driving or fucking diagnosing people or calculating market manipulation by fucking super rich people or wealthy people or the people who like in Congress who can fucking insider trade legally, shit like that. Like we just have AIs that are analyzing and running those numbers, but never step foot into the realm of building a crap ton of quantum computers and like letting the AI just like gain some I don't know, sentience or whatever the thing is, letting it hit the singularity. Like we just shouldn't do that, and we have 20 more years to like try to like not let the genie out the bottle. So like let's do that. Let's not let the genie out the bottle. Keep the smoke in the generator, keep the genie in the bottle, or whatever other analogy that you know of. Just like don't let the cat out of the bag, because it just needs to. We just not even need to create the cat. Let's just keep the cat in our theoretical, fantastical imaginations and not manifest that machination of our minds. Yeah. So with that, I'm just gonna wrap it up right here. We're gonna be done. If you made it this far, and I didn't say this at all during the entire video, but if you would subscribe, that would be sick. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, and any more on top of what I already got is gonna just get me closer to that goal. Appreciate it very much. If you want exclusive content, if you want early access to any of the stuff that I'm doing, you can sign up for the Patreon. The lowest one is like $3, and then I got like another tier that's like 5 times that, and then I got some more that's, or even like 10 times that, and then I got one that's even 10 times that. So it's like there's crazy cool things if you got the money, and if you don't got the money, we got the options for the people that don't got the money, we got the options for the people that do got the money. It's freaking sick, nasty with it. There's comedy, there's writing, there might be music, and then there's just like you get access to me, which is like super valuable, super awesome, great, fantastical stuff. But this has been going on for far too long, and I have to edit it all together now, so thank you, aloha, mahalo, catch ya, see you in the next one, maybe, I don't know, maybe I won't, maybe I will, who's to say? Either way, good day.
So open your third eye, let them AIs decide.